Next up, representing Team 30s, Lauren Davis is a stand-up comedian, storyteller and writer who channels her creativity into hands-on art projects. Give it up for Team 30s, Lauren.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. How are we? Okay, we're okay. So growing up, I prayed a lot. But even so, I still had major beef with God. You see, I was born with this thing, this condition called microphthalmia. Now, it sounds like a Star Trek villain, right? But it was actually way less sci-fi than that. It's this condition where my right eye just stopped developing, all right? It said, nah, I'm good, okay? So I have no vision in it, and it's a lot smaller than my left. Now, it's not life-threatening or anything, but for a while, it felt identity-threatening. And so my mom, she was always very hyper-vigilant about my eye, right? She would make me wear goggles to play basketball. And she even put me in private school, as if rich white kids don't bully. I was like, baby girl, have you never read Lord of the Flies? Turns out she hadn't. But Chad and Brad, they didn't bother me, right? You know? I bullied them. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody was bullied, all right? But kids, they're always curious. They ask a lot of questions. And even today, people always ask me, you know, they're like, well, what's it like to be partially blind? How do you see? Exactly. And it's hard to answer because I don't know. This is all I've ever known. But I'm pretty sure I don't care about half the shit y'all care about, you know? My whole life just been on portrait mode, you know? Yeah. And so my eye has given me a lot of character development. My eye is the reason I have a personality. But I'm not happy about it, okay? I'm not supposed to be here, okay? I'm not supposed to be here on this stage, all right? I'm supposed to be on a rich man's yacht, okay? That's where I'm supposed to be. And I heard recently from this psychologist that a great marker of a good childhood is a child that doesn't want to be famous. And I won't go into the details of that, but what I will tell you is that I desperately wanted to be on Disney Channel, okay? I would practice my tagline, you know? I'd be like, hey, it's Lauren, and you're watching Disney Channel, okay? I nailed it, right? Thank you, thank you. I practiced. I wanted to be like Lizzie McGuire. I wanted to be like Raven Simone. And so when I was 11 in St. Louis, Missouri, my mom took me to an audition. Now, this was one of those pay-to-play auditions, AKA a scam, okay? It was a scam. But we went to the audition. We didn't know. They corralled us all in this hotel's ballroom, and it was my turn. I went in front of the scam casting agent. I said some lines, and she said I was amazing, wonderful. You just need to fix your eye. Right? She said it like it was bangs that I needed to grow out, or like I needed to stop biting my nails. So then my tagline became, hey, it's Lauren, and you're watching my dreams die before my one eye. I was like, damn. Yeah, it hurt. And so, you know, as a kid, I became, you know, really shameful around my eye. It became this thing that was seen as like deviant to me, you know, and it was the early 2000s. So, you know, I did have the option of millennial side bang, okay? So I hid behind that. And what I learned from society was that symmetry is more normal. Symmetry is more acceptable. Symmetry is more beautiful. And beauty equates to more morality. It's more good. It's more virtuous. And so I did. I saw my eye, and I saw my differences, and I saw the things that made me weird as being really deviant. And I saw them as being the things keeping me away from more love, more connection, and from being seen. So as I got older, this side bang evolved into a custom contact lens that I wore over my right eye. And it was painted to look just like my left and to give me some semblance of symmetry. And I loved it. I thought it was great. It made me really confident. And then, I told myself that this thing was like makeup, right? It was this thing I could just take on and put off when I wanted to. But it started to become more of like an armor, a way to protect myself from the world. And I wore this almost every day until I was about 31 years old. And I don't know what happens when you're in your 30s. I don't know. I think that's when my frontal lobe must have finally developed, okay? Because I don't know what happened, but suddenly I just gave no fucks, right? I mean, well, okay, I did give a little fuck. I gave a little bit. Don't clap. I did give a lot still. I mean, I still do. But anyways. But I was tired of being at war with myself. I was tired of hiding, and I really wanted to be more unmasked. So I stopped wearing it, and to celebrate, I decided that summer to go on an eat, pray, love trip, but the broke millennial version, right? Okay, yeah. So with some friends, I went to London, and I was nervous and I was excited because I was a new girl, I was like, who am I? And so me and friends, we went to Notting Hill Carnival. You know Notting Hill Carnival? You do? You loved it. You're from London. She knows. Okay, sorry. I heard the woo. So Notting Hill Carnival, it is a 2-day Caribbean festival. It sees over 2 million people. It's huge, and it's super fun. My family's from Trinidad, so I had been dying to go. On the second day, about 20 minutes in, it's super crowded, and I lose my friends. And on top of that, there's no cell phone service, right, because it's so crowded. And then on top of that, the shrooms kicked in, okay? Just a little bit. I promise it was just a little bit. So now I was lost, I was a little bit high, and I wanted to cry, okay? And I don't know about you guys, but when I get into these moments, I like to pray and talk to my ancestors, right? A group of really badass women who have passed away, and I just speak to them and I say, help, okay? I was like, let me have fun, let me find someone I might know. And I kid you not, within a minute, I look up and I see this beautiful man. And I was like, well, I think the ancestors want me to talk to him, okay? So I tapped this guy on his shoulder, we start talking, and we just connected, and I wasn't lost anymore. My friends, I started to get service. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm lovely, okay? I'm British now, all right? Like, yeah, bye. Like, I was great. I don't know what it was, but me and this guy, we were just like magnets to each other, right? And I'll spare some of the details, but it was pretty rom-com. And on the next leg of my trip, I was going to France, and I actually invited him to Paris with me. And we had an amazing time. We ate, we hung out, we were intimate. Okay? Oui, yeah. Yeah, thanks. It was great. And on our last night, we're holding hands after dinner, and I look at him, and I'm super nervous, and I'm like, yeah, you like don't have to say anything, and you don't have to say anything back. Don't feel pressure. But like, I don't know, I think I'm like falling in love with you. I know. And he stops, and he looks at me, and he goes, you are? And I was like, yo, chill. It's the oxytocin, right? It's just the chemicals. But in that moment, when I think about it and I think back on it, I'm like, okay, this was a little bit cringe, right? But I think that I felt really myself. And I think what I meant to say was, I think I'm finally really, really falling in love with myself. That's super corny, right? That's super corny. Okay, no, but that was actually the rom-com, right? Like, I had become this very audacious version of myself. I was vulnerable, I was unmasked, and I felt really free. I was the version of myself that little Lauren, that Disney reject Lauren always wanted to be. And so now, I don't have any beef with God, okay? I am very grateful for how things turned out. I am very grateful for the things that make me weird, very grateful for the things that make me different. And now I think that, you know, when God made me, he must have taken an edible, you know? I think he was inspired. I think he was having fun, right? Totally. And, you know, sometimes when you take an edible, you forget some things. You forget some details. And so I'm not mad at all about my eye. I swear I'm not. But I do just wish that he would have remembered my titties, okay? I just feel like if you're gonna give a girl one eye, you give her double D's. You know? Thank you.
Fair enough. Double D's. Sounds good. If you are watching